Hi, in this video we are going to learn about components in Angular. So what actually is a component? Components is a directive which contain the template and its properties and methods, which finally describe a complete view. So whatever actually you are going to view in your application, it's nothing but is a combination of components which contain the templates and all its properties and methods for the interaction with this component, with this template. So how to create a component in Angular application? So to make a class as a component, mark the class with the component decorator and specifies metadata like template selector. So all this we are going to learn practically how to create a component in Angular right now. So let's create a new application by using Angular CLI. So to start with Angular CLI, the command is ng new. New means we are going to create a new project, and the next is project name. Here I am saying Angular component example. Enter. So what it does, it created a new Angular application by using Angular CLI. If you're not familiar with Angular CLI, then you can view my previous video how to create Angular application using Angular CLI. So all things working fine. So let's open it in Visual Studio Code Editor. If you don't have Visual Studio Code Editor, you can download it from code.visualstudio.com. So let's move to the folder which created Angular component example, and to open it in a code editor there is a short key code space dot. Okay, now to start with the components. Don't worry about all this file structure, we will learn all these things. Now in this video we are going to learn about the component. So to start with component, let's create a new folder. Take an example, component example, and in that we are going to create a component class. This is components example. Remember, we are creating a TypeScript class. Suppose here we're going to create a class components example. Now to make the class act as a component class, we have to add the decorator component on this class. So what it is, send component, bracket and curly brackets. That's it. If you see here, it's showing as a red, means is can't find name component. For that we have to import the packages which contain the definition of component decorator. So for that we are going to import Angular core and package is a component. Okay, so things here we create a class and mark that class as a component, and next step is how these components are accessible by the application. So for that we have to use the metadata selector, which actually tells the Angular means whenever you find that selector, render this component. So here I'm going to say comp example. The other things we require with what it's to render. Okay, compiler find comp example in the cycle. Now what it renders in HTML. So for that we have a metadata template and template URL. So for now we are going with inline template only. So in browser we can say hello world. This HTML, please render this HTML whenever you find selector comp example. So here our hello world component is created. Now we need to register this component in module. So for module, select the app.modules class. This is actually a root ng module for the application. Now in that we are going to put our components example class. So this import component example from component example. Okay, person has no exported member. Okay, things is the class have to be in export. So now we can import this class in this module. Those class we need to add in declaration, and also to start it I can say the bootstrap. Means whenever application run, render this component. Okay. Now another things we need to add this selector component example selector in the HTML. So I'm removing default selector which created by Angular CLI. Okay, Control S. Now I'm opening the terminal. Just type ng serve. Okay, our application is building successful and hosted on localhost port number 4200. Let's copy it and open in browser. So let's copy paste enter. Hello world. So now you see how easy it's a component to class. Just create a class and decorate that class with the component decorator and import the package required for that component decorator. And also minimum you have to add two metadatas. First the selector, which is required for the HTML, means whenever come with this selector it's actually going to render what. So for that we need the template or template URL. So this HTML it render in this place. For example, if I see from index here we are. Okay, save. So whenever in Angular CLI you clicked on save, it auto compile and browser is refreshed. See, so this is from our index HTML class, and this data, this HTML content is from the component class. So hope you understand what is actually is a component class in Angular application. Thank you.